following them all the way here to the intersection at 27th and Lloyd. That's when officers stopped us and said no more foot traffic going south. Shortly after that, we saw a few more squad vehicles going south down 27th, and we saw the yellow tape come up here. So you can be led to assume that something is happening in that direction, and obviously this search is getting somewhere here. So the scene is obviously, it's getting bigger, and we're trying to figure out exactly where these officers are pinpointing, but you can see that there are
What's up, guys? Breaking news. They're saying 2 cops shot dead.
Every corner here. There are 4 just in my line of sight, and I can see several squad vehicles even further down 27th Street here. So we're keeping an eye on them and seeing what we can ascertain just by being eyes and boots on the ground here. But everyone is still actively searching. All these officers have their posts, and they're being very collaborative with one another, telling each other which intersections to go cover, who needs relief, who needs backup. So it's certainly a high intensity situation that's still taking place, and it's growing by the minute. Steve, Andrea?
All right, Mary and McCarr in the area around 24th and Garfield, where they appear to be on to something. We'll be completely transparent with everybody at home. Our multiple sources have told us that this was a fatality involving a Milwaukee police officer tonight, and at the end of the night, that could still be the case. Our sources are now telling us that they've been able to do some remarkable things at the hospital, and I'm going to use the quote here from the note I've just been passed.
2 cops shot.
Pulse quote came back, and he is in the operating room.
Wow. There's a desperate effort to save this officer's life,
which you would expect in a case like this. The call apparently made at the scene was this was going to be a fatality, but at the hospital they thought different, and they are working feverishly now to bring this officer back from the brink.
All right.
Don't know if that's going to happen. We don't want to give anybody false hope tonight.
What's up, guys?
Some
Late
other
night.
information we want to give you. We do have a statement from Milwaukee Police. They do confirm they're at the scene of a critical incident at the area of 25th and West Garfield. The words critical incident have special meaning to the Milwaukee Police Department. That means that somebody has either been gravely injured or has lost their life. So those are very important words that the Milwaukee Police Department is using. I'll work to get, as soon as I can catch my breath here in a second, I'll work to get you a specific definition on that. They're asking people to avoid the area as there's still a threat to the public. There's an active scene, and they are searching. We're going to get details on a briefing from MPD.
They're saying the cops were ambush guys.
The definition of what a Milwaukee Police critical incident is.
Absolutely, and so this is all happening in the area of North 25th Street and Garfield Avenue.
Milwaukee.
Police are asking that you avoid the area at all costs. You are not, it appears with the yellow tape, you're not allowed to come in and you're not allowed to go out. So if you can avoid the area, it's very important that you allow them the space to do their job. This is still an active scene, and officers are searching for a suspect in that vicinity. The details regarding a media briefing, they said, will be provided via a media advisory as soon as available. So everyone working to make sure we get all the information that we need, not only just for people in that neighborhood, but for family members who have officers who are out there working tonight, and just everyone who just cares about those who are there to protect and serve us on a daily basis.
And the key words here from the Milwaukee Police Department's definition of critical incident, it involves death or great bodily harm. So that seems to fit what we've been hearing all evening long here, that this is now a critical incident involving Milwaukee police officers near 25th and Garfield. We've been listening to a lot of scanner traffic tonight to help inform us on what's been going on out there on the streets. We're going to listen to a little bit of it right now. Andrea and I hearing it now for the first time with you, so let's all listen together to what happened around 10 minutes after 9.
It's fluid, but I have 2 critical officers. Have them come in off of 23rd North. 9-1 to incoming med units. I need you to come in off of North Avenue. Come in off of North Avenue for the med units.
clearly coming off of North Avenue.
Yeah, two critical officers is what was described there on the radio call, and that fits with everything we have been told was what they saw when the med units responded to the scene there near 25th and Garfield.
And it has been almost 2.5 hours since this situation unfolded, and we've got our crews out there who are trying to help us get the details. But what we know so far is that officers are on the scene with every type of way of figuring out where a suspect could be, whether it's a K9 unit, drones. They've got their shields and their guns drawn, and this is a very active scene as we speak. I don't know how long this will go on, but we will be here to help you figure out what's happening in that area and all the details that we need.
Again, this was a shooting around 10 minutes after 9 o'clock, 24th and Garfield. This is Fond du Lac in North, your main cross streets right there in this neighborhood. Just a couple blocks away from Milwaukee Police District 7, which is there on Fond du Lac. We don't know what district these officers were from. We're not exactly sure why they were in that neighborhood tonight, but we know from our sources the officers were essentially ambushed. They didn't have a chance, and they were both shot.
Ambushed.
We heard there on the scanner audio. They were both in critical condition, and they were both transported to Frederick Hospital. One of them, his injuries were described to us as grave, and that he was not going to make it. We now know that officer, they were able to get a pulse back at Frederick.
Oh, they got a pulse back.
Amazing things in that.
Wow, wow, that's
and,
good.
They've been able to get him into surgery where they're going to try to save his life right now. So we
wow,
can hold that in our hearts right now. We're going to back away from that. We may still certainly get there tonight. Don't want to give anybody false hope because these guys were very badly hurt. The reports that we've also heard on scanner audio, multiple shots to the torso for these officers. That's tough stuff. But they're able to do good stuff at Frederick Hospital, and they are working to save the life of the officer that was believed to have been then dead there at the scene. So we will, again, hold that in our hearts right now. We saw just a minute ago, I believe, on the screen the video of the drones.
Oh, thank you, Abby. Thank you for the membership gifts.
They are on the ground, and they are in the air. They are in every alley. They are in every yard. There's a squad car and an officer pretty much at every corner in what's got to be maybe a 25-block area right now. Those are the drones that are up in the air right now trying to search from the air. We know they can search for heat signatures with those drones.
Yeah.
They can use infrared. So if this person is laying flat in somebody's backyard trying not to be found, this will pick up their heat signature, and this will give officers an idea of where they can go. They've got the dogs out there. Those dogs are able to pick up a scent and tell officers where this person could be hiding as well. But it is just a swarm of Milwaukee police in the area and the blocks around 24th and Garfield right now. Again, the word from Milwaukee police, stay inside if you're in that area right now. They're going to give us a full briefing on this a little bit later, but until then, everybody just stay safe inside your homes. If you see anything, please call Milwaukee Police.
Yeah, and you were talking about those drones. Many advanced drones come equipped with night vision capabilities, and so that just goes back to asking people to stay inside their homes so that anyone that is moving about, they don't have to, you know.
Yeah, so for all the new people that joined, just there was this shooting. Somebody messaged me on Instagram. 2 police officers shot near 24th and Garfield. Now, one of the suspects, he's in surgery, and at first they were saying there was reports that the officer had passed or he was dead, but now they're saying they were able to get a pulse back, and so he's in very, very serious condition. They're trying to get him, resuscitate the person. He's having like emergency surgery, and there's also an active manhunt. They have not caught the suspects. All right, and we've kind of been talking about this, been mentioning that like this just like open season on cops. I think like we've covered so many stories, and there's stories I haven't even had time to cover, but there's a few that we've covered recently where they just were responding to a traffic stop. There was that one in, I think it was Chicago, that was kind of weird. The one that they were running up to a place, and then the cop shot the other cop in the back and killed the cop lady. Remember that one?
We have, and what does it look like there? Is anybody starting to show up?
Steve and Andrea, we can see a gathering of police.
There's a lot of cops
been
right getting shot and killed lately.
This entrance behind me, it's a ways away, about 200, 300 yards, but it appears to be dozens of officers just waiting outside of this hospital, many on motorcycles, right outside of this entrance. Been talking with a lot of sources, hearing the same information you've been hearing. A lot of officers incredibly worried about what happened to these two officers. I'm hearing from one source that this may have been a domestic violence incident that they responded to.
Really?
We are out here awaiting a news conference, presumably from the mayor as well as a representative from the police department, knowing that Chief Norman is out of town. But we will stay here and keep monitoring this situation right outside the hospital, Steve.
All right, Ben Jordan there outside Frederick Hospital, where there are a handful of Milwaukee police officers standing guard outside the doors of the emergency room, while there are presumably hundreds more at work in the streets around 24th and Garfield right now. You can't walk a block in this neighborhood. I wouldn't advise you walking a block in this neighborhood right now, but if you did, you wouldn't be able to go anywhere.
A lot of cops, massive response. Stats are saying from the FBI and the Department of Justice consistently show that a significant number of officers killed in the line of duty were responding to domestic disputes. Really, really dangerous calls for these police officers to respond to. I don't understand why these people, they're having a situation, all right? And then it escalates to, well, we're just going to shoot the cop and pop off. I don't understand what the point of that is.
So, and this does fit with what we've heard earlier. They don't want anyone moving south on 27th Street. If there is a new area of interest around 27th and Vine, is one of the things we're hearing from our people in the field. That would fit with what we've heard earlier, that they want no foot traffic going south on 27th. So if you are in that area now around 27th and Vine, you could be in a place that's going to see a lot more police real quick. And as we see, this area right here where our camera is has gotten a lot more quiet. They may have surged people to another part of town. I don't know if we want to do anything with our crews in the field to check out that new location there at 27 and Vine. But again, okay, so we cannot get down 27th any further is what it is, and we wouldn't want to get in the way of any law enforcement activity going on there. But
and when you talk about this area, Steve, this is also a residential area. So for those who are watching, asking them to also stay inside their homes, allowing police to do their job and figure out, in fact, if they have their person of interest.
Yeah, 27th and Vine, that's just a couple blocks north of Lisbon there at 27th and Lisbon, for anybody who needs help understanding what that part of town looks like. You get all those diagonals. This is a part of town where you get a lot of those diagonal streets all coming together, the Midtown neighborhood of the city of Milwaukee. But that would explain why this scene has just become a handful of officers keeping watch. It is, I mean, by my eye, this is significantly more quiet than it was probably about an hour ago when I first joined you out here on the anchor desk, Andrea. And this scene does look a little quieter. Yeah,
absolutely, because before, every part of that street was full of Milwaukee police vehicles, and now it looks like they've shifted their attention somewhere else. But we do have our reporters, Mary McCarr and Burmeisters out there as well. They are checking on this information that we just talked about on 27th and Vine, so hopefully we can get some sort of update on what's happening in that particular area. So we'll keep everybody up to date, but we are giving you wall-to-wall coverage as we have two Milwaukee police officers who have been shot and taken to Frederick Hospital. We also have our reporters there at the hospital, and we are here to really give you everything that we find out. As soon as we find out, you will know.
Let's get back out to Ben Jordan. He's at Frederick Hospital. This is where those two officers were taken after the shooting. Ben, what can you tell us?
Steve, I'm hearing some new information from a police source. It sounds like police know exactly who they're looking for. They have the name of the suspect. I'm also being told that one of the officers who was shot and receiving treatment here at Frederick Hospital has about 6 years of experience on the job. Let's pan off to take a closer look behind us. It's the same scene we saw about 5 minutes ago. A lot of officers waiting outside of this entrance. My photographer zoomed in and believes it's an adult emergency entrance right here at Frederick. So we're staying here. We're awaiting any word on a news conference. Nothing announced yet, but we are anticipating the mayor and the police department to be here at some point in the near future. Steve?
Ben, that's encouraging news that they know who they're looking for down to a name involved with this. That would fit with information we have in the newsroom. We're not ready to put on the air yet about what may have started all of this, but that does fit that they would have an individual that they could get down to a name with. Now they just need to get to a location, and it appears they may be searching the area around 27th and Vine. There's a lot more police activity there than there is near 24th to 25th and Garfield right now. So that may be the new locus of this search for the person in the area. At 27th and Vine, not far from where this happened. It would be only 6 blocks as the crow flies on a diagonal. A little bit of a bobbing and weaving through the neighborhood to get to 27th and Vine from 24th and Garfield, but only like 5 or 6 blocks. It's not far at all. Presumably somebody could run to this area real quickly, and police are now not letting anybody move on 27th Street, as this is where they're focusing all of their attention at this time. Now, just to update everybody on the status of the officers, both officers were transported in critical condition from 24th and Garfield to Frederick Hospital. Our sources told us in the 10 o'clock hour that there was going to be a fatality among these officers tonight. We have been told since then that at Frederick they were able to regain a pulse on the officer who was expected to lose his life. And let's all hope that that is true. Don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but they are working desperately at Frederick to save this officer's life, and we will wait for an update on that until we get that from Milwaukee Police and from presumably the mayor and other city leaders at the hospital. A briefing to come maybe in the next half hour is what we've been told to expect.
Absolutely. And you just stated we don't want to get anyone's hopes up, but wow, it is hopeful in hearing that they were able to revive this officer and really give his family hope, his or her family's hope on remaining with us. And regardless of which, this is why we are thankful for our officers in blue who are there to serve and protect. And when something like this happens, it really is heartbreaking and it's a dark day.
Yeah, I don't know why an email didn't go out.
Yeah, so we're moving Marion McCarr closer to 27th and Vine just to see how it's going to be tough because of how much of the area police have blocked off right now. At least to get a feel, is it any different than what it feels like near 24th and Garfield, where it's still tense but is a much more relaxed posture than what we saw from Mike Biermeister's camera, where there were police officers, running with their long guns out and ballistic shields and with the dogs. We're not seeing that anymore at the location where our cameras are. This all appears to have moved a little closer to 27th and Vine. So hopefully we can get a better look at what's going on there for you at home, because this scene right here is just a lot of police officers and their cars standing around while the actual search seems to have shifted elsewhere. And again, based on what we're learning from police, they don't want anybody on 27th Street. It's looking like it's about 3 blocks west of this location where the real intense search is underway at this time.
This has been a long night for all involved. First, the call coming in, as you told us earlier, around 9 o'clock tonight. And we're rolling up on almost 3 hours of
3 hours.
This activity. And we are just waiting for details to come from officials and also just to find out what led up to this incident in general.
And we have seen drones in the air. We have seen dogs on the ground. The street grid around 24th and Garfield, there's one of those drones right now that we're talking about. They're doing everything they can to find the person responsible for this. We know from other situations these drones are able to pick up a person's body heat. So if there's a heat signature in a backyard somewhere, it's going to be a key sign for police that they could be, getting close to the person that they're looking for. But again, where this camera is located right here does not seem to be the greatest focus of the search right now. That's going to be a few blocks west of this on 27th. Could be even further south. Yeah, 27th and Vine is the neighborhood we're looking at right there. Mike Biermeister, are you still there at 27th and Garfield, or have you moved on us?
Steve, we are still here at 27th at Garfield. You're looking south on 27th Street right now, and I tried to make my way down there to try and get a better look at what's happening on 27th and Vine, but that was blocked off. I was blocked off at Lloyd, so about 2 blocks down that way. But much calmer here on the corner of 27th and Garfield than what we saw earlier. A lot of the people, the onlookers who were coming out here, have left, thankfully, and police have this area secured right now. And if we're looking at where 24th and 25th and Garfield are, there still is a large police presence down that way. But again, certainly you can tell it's much calmer around here, and that a lot of the police presence and the drones that you saw in the sky and some of the officers that were armed have moved south on 27th Street. So it is much calmer here, but still a very active scene. We're still seeing police just walking around and patrolling here right now.
All right, Mike Biermeister there at 27th and Garfield. Again, we're not able to get too terribly close to where we believe much of the police activity is happening right now, near 27th and Vine. That's about 4 blocks south of where Mike is. Again, police have shifted their posture. Let's use that language in this neighborhood. There is not as much of a sense of tension among the officers right there. We see them, taking their baseball caps on and putting them on backwards. And that gives us an indication that the area that we were looking at there may not be the hottest spot where police are working right now. Miriam McCarr has now moved and reestablished. Miriam, let's start with your location. Tell us where you are.
Steve, we are close to the intersection of 27th and Brown Street. We are about half a block away from 27th and Vine Street, which is where we believe most of this action is taking place now. If you take a look, you can see a number of officers and a police vehicle surrounding what seems to be one home here on this street. We haven't seen much movement here aside from them gathering on the outside, but we can assume that something is taking place within this residence here near 27th and Vine. So we're continuing to keep an eye to see if there's going to be any more movement with these officers. We see a number of squad vehicles pulling up to the scene as well. This was south of 27th where officers had blocked off that area on Lloyd. This is the direction that we saw officers taking off on foot and using their vehicles. So you can assume that they were on their way to this location here. We see a big group of people standing around here. So that's what we have eyes on as of right now, Steve.
All right, we're going to keep our eyes on your camera feed right now for a while, Miriam. So if we can just go ahead and keep an eye on this. This is now, the camera location is 27th and Brown. It is looking in the direction of 27th and Vine. And this is where a new concentration of police effort has been found. Again, this is only about 6 blocks away from the location where the 2 officers were shot now about 2.5 hours ago.
Yeah, and it looks like all of that action
Lots of
standing
cops
around 27th Street and kind of moving back and forth. So we are going to keep our eye on this video, but in the meantime, we had our Ben Jordan who reported to us from Frederick saying that sources told him that one of the officers who was shot and brought into the hospital has about 6 years of service as a Milwaukee police officer. So we are still waiting to get notification on the status of both of those officers who were shot earlier today, right around 24th and Garfield is where it all unfolded, and it continues to move right around that same area. And our Mike Brimeister, he's out and about and moving his location as well. Do we have Mike?
No, we don't have Mike at this time, but again, this is the shot we're looking at here. It's at 27th and Brown, looking at an address close to 27th and Vine. We're going to bring you right now the words of this Milwaukee police statement we got in the last half hour or so, just for anybody tuning in. This is the official word from Milwaukee Police. They're at the scene of a critical incident in the area of 25th and Garfield. They're telling people to avoid the area as there's still a threat to the public. It's an active scene, and officers are searching for a suspect in the vicinity. And again, they'll give us details on a media briefing as soon as they can. Again, Milwaukee Police telling us we could maybe get a briefing in the midnight hour, close to midnight potentially. But right now we are seeing a large number of law enforcement here. That fellow right there seems to be holding a pair of bolt cutters in his hands. I don't know if they needed to get inside a building or something. FBI is also there on the scene. I've seen somebody with FBI on the back of his vest. We have just a swarm of law enforcement now in the area.
No regard for human life.
And 27th and Vine.
I'm trying to fix the email situation, guys.
There are a lot of police officers with their eyes certainly focused on one particular house in this neighborhood.
Yes, and as we always witness when these type of situations unfold, there are a number of officials who will be giving us what they know up to this point, and so we have not gotten any word on when they will be giving us an update, but we do know it will be coming sooner than later.
Yeah, again, this is a new area of concentration from Milwaukee Police. We're not getting a great sense of urgency here, but there's a great sense of interest in a house in this neighborhood. Now we see vehicles pulling off. Are we able to follow that car? Is it moving to another location even further south from you guys? Mike?
The car is actually...
Oh, Miriam. That's Miriam and Manny out here. I'm sorry. Okay. Just want to see if they're moving to another location further away. And then, oh, they use it to put light on something, it looks like. Yeah, we're just watching this with you at home, trying to figure out what police could be doing here near 27th and Vine, as there's a lot of officers outside one of those buildings in the neighborhood, and they are intently focused on it. We did see one officer walking away with what looked to be a pair of bolt cutters in his hands if they needed to try to get inside of it. Not sure if they have a tip here or if they have anything greater than that, that somebody that they're looking for could be in this area. But we do know from Ben Jordan in his reporting and talking to his sources, police have a name. They believe they know specifically who they are looking for. This is not an unknown person to them at this point. Let's get back out to Ben Jordan, who can bring us up to speed on what his source told him about that. Ben?
Yeah, Steve, I continue to work my cell phone trying to get new information from my MPD sources, but just to recap, what I've heard so far is one of the officers who was shot and receiving treatment here has about 6 years of experience on the job. I'm told that they were responding to a domestic violence call near 24th or 25th and Greenfield, or Garfield rather, and they know who they're looking for. They have the name of the suspect. That's what I'm hearing from an MPD source. Multiple MPD sources tell me they're getting dozens of calls from fellow department members, as worried as can be about what's going on to these two officers. Just a horrific situation. Let's zoom back in. A lot of officers just standing outside of this hospital here at Freighter, likely waiting for an update to find out what's going on inside. We're waiting for new information. We're going to be here throughout the night as we wait to hear anything from officials. Steve?
Hey, Ben, if your photographer could give us a look at what's going on there in the gangway, the Sallyport at the hospital, and you could maybe kind of walk us through what you're seeing there. We do see the police squad sitting there. Let's just show us what this looks like. All these officers, a lot of them motorcycle cops, standing watch here in the Sallyport. What's that look like?
Yeah, let's zoom in here. Let me see the viewfinder real quick, if you don't mind, Claire. A lot of officers sitting on their motorcycles. I would venture to guess about 20 officers right there in the Sallyport waiting. We do see a number of squads as well, MPD squads. Haven't seen much activity here within the past 30 minutes ever since we arrived. This is what it's looked like for the past 30 minutes, Steve.
All right, Ben Jordan, thank you for giving us a look at what's happening there at Frederick Hospital, and as well as updating us on what we know about the officers involved with this. One of them having about 6 years of service. I was told he was sworn in 2019. It would be the year he joined the force, so that information does seem to match up with what we're hearing from multiple different sources right now. But this is the focus of activity right now on 27th Street, where the search appears to have shifted.
Absolutely has shifted. When we look at the scene at 25th and Garfield, there are now just a couple of police vehicles that are left there, and we've heard that police know who they're looking for, so it's possible that the area that they are in is where the suspect has been, because we now know this was a domestic violence.
Selfish bastard.
It does change things when we continue to get new details to help us better understand what has happened.
And one thing we know, domestic violence situations are one of the hairiest things police can walk into. They are fraught with emotion. And it is a very dangerous situation to walk into, a situation where emotions are running that high. Not sure how that combines with the ambush of these police officers, but that is the information we have right now from all of our sources. Ben telling us this appears to have been domestic related. Our other sources telling us this appears to be an ambush where these officers didn't even have a chance to fight back in any capacity. Again, we're looking here. This is that scene near 27th and Brown, right around 27th and Vine, that area right there. Still a lot of focus on this property right here. A lot of police outside of it. Not sure if this is just they're standing watch over this building, or they're waiting to get inside of it to see someone inside.
And clearly, Steve, the same way that we have been waiting for answers, it appears that the officers who are on the scene, the officers who are at the hospital, they are also waiting for answers.
One piece of information we are pleased to share with you. When we came on the air with this around 10:30, we were told by our sources, very high-ranking sources inside the police department in some of these cases, that there was going to be a fatality tonight. We can't say that at this point, as at Frederick Hospital they were able to regain a pulse on the officer they believed had died, and they are working to save that officer's life. So any call on that will come from the hospital, but we're going to hold hope that they're going to be able to save the officer that they thought earlier in the evening had lost his life in the line of duty. So don't want to give anybody false hope, but that's what they're working on at Frederick Hospital, while in the neighborhood around 24th and Garfield, they're still trying to find the person who did this.
Our hopes and prayers going out to the family. We do have Miriam McCarr, who is on the scene and has been keeping us up to date all night long. So Miriam, any new information you can share with us at this time?
People who have been standing at the scene for several minutes or so say that initially they believed that officers suspected that the person they were looking for was inside one of those homes. It seems they were calling for that person to come outside, but you can see that that scene has since dissipated. There's still a number of officers outside of this home, but there are less police vehicles here, and there was initially about 3 groups of officers standing here. Now there seems to be be only one. So it seems that they have moved their search elsewhere, although there are still a number of officers, as you can see, that are staking out this one particular home. So the search for this suspect is still on. Initially, they believed that the person was inside this home. Now, I don't believe that person is inside this home, but they still seem to be monitoring it. That's what we've learned so far from being in this location. Andrea, Steve.
All right, Mariam McCarr, unfortunately, this was not a fruitful search by Milwaukee police, as they are looking for what we know is a known suspect to them. They know exactly who they're looking for. They are just trying to find him in the middle of a neighborhood in the middle of the night, which is going to make it even more difficult. There are a lot of places to hide in the blocks around 24th and Garfield. This is going to take some time to find this individual with that many places in the area where they could hide. I mean, they've got drones in the air looking for heat signatures, presumably, if he's hiding in somebody's backyard. But there's a lot of houses in this area as well in which you might be able to hide out.
Yes, and we are expecting to hear from the communications officer from the Milwaukee Police Department to update us on what they know. Do we know the identity of both of these officers? I'm sure we do, and if they're willing to share that with us at this time. Also to get an update.
The identity. What's up, guys? I'm trying to fix this email thing. I'm almost done.
How this all unfolded as a domestic violence scenario where these officers really showing up to help someone who had called, or was it a call from a neighbor? What took place that led up to this unfortunate incident?
Again, domestic violence situations are some of the calls most fraught with danger for a police officer, because emotions run so high. You never know what you're walking into, a situation where domestic violence is involved. So the situation here at 27th and Vine appears to be just standing by, waiting to be told where to go next. In the area around 24th and Garfield, where we have where we had another camera earlier set up, that was the location where the incident happened. We're now moving one of our crews now even further west towards 35th and Vine. Nothing there, we're told. Okay, we did get a crew over the 35th and Vine, no scene there. So nothing more to update on where police may be looking in earnest right now, but they are everywhere in this neighborhood.
Yeah, it's been quite a night, not only for the Milwaukee Police Department, but also for the residents who live in this neighborhood, and it's going from block to block, and the scene is getting bigger, and we still really don't have any details to tell us what exactly is going on at this point. But as we've said, and as we mean, we will give you wall-to-wall coverage, and we will stay with this until we have the answers that we need.
So this is tape we're playing back right here from a little bit earlier. You can get a feeling for what the scene is like in this neighborhood. Milwaukee Police, Milwaukee County Sheriff's moving with great urgency. This was in about the 10 o'clock hour. This is maybe just about 1 hour after the shooting took place. Really frantic in just the immediate blocks around 24th and Garfield. We've now expanded all the way out about 5 or 6 blocks, and 27th and Vine being about 6 blocks away from the shooting where this happened, from where the shooting happened rather. So this is quite an expansive scene right now. At one point, we had a camera shot that was looking down the street, and you just saw squad car after squad car at intersection after intersection, giving you the idea that you would not be able to go anywhere without having an officer put his or her eyes on you as you were moving. They were just swarming this neighborhood. It's thinned out a little bit as they've had to expand their circle. They're searching even greater and greater, but there are still plenty of police officers, Sheriff's Department deputies, and federal agents, as well as we've seen people from the FBI as well in the middle of some of these scenes.
Now, Steve, we were looking just not too long ago around the area of 27th and Vine, and it looks like Miriam is reporting that officers are searching with flashlights near Brown and Vine now, so also just kind of moving up once again. So it sounds like there could possibly be a suspect on the move as opposed to inside a home as they may have thought earlier.
Yeah, that would certainly be something you could glean from the fact that officers are not focused in any one place. They are moving around. Again, another live image here as police officers are walking in a line here. And which camera location are we seeing right here, guys? This is 27th and Vine, okay.
And officers seem to be going back to north on 27th.
We're going to find you.
So if we can get Miriam back on to kind of give us an update on what she's seeing as far as how things are shifting out there on the scene, that would be amazing.
Milwaukee, Michelle.
Yeah, Andrea and Steve, we have since seen a number of the officers that were near that home now move back north on 27th towards the original location where that search was centered. We also saw police officers, it seems, in the alley near Brown and 27th searching in their flashlights again towards that western area. So it seems they're still actively searching in every spot in this neighborhood and in this vicinity for that suspect that they are aware of and that they are still actively searching for. So it seems that the location here on 27th and Vine is dwindling down. Officers are now spreading their search back north, but we do still see a number of officers here near 27th and Vine.
Miriam, just to go off a couple of landmarks here, as you move north on 27th, there's a large church off there to the right. I mean, what's the location in relationship with the church and the parking lot that's right there on 27th and Brown?
So we just saw officers pass that church heading back towards Garfield, and that's where Mike Biermeister was set up initially, and that's where that search started. Going the other direction south, the area that they were searching, I would say, is about a block and a half south from where that church is. So that is sort of in the center of where we've seen officers search in these areas, and now it seems that they've sort of spread out instead of centered around one specific spot, Steve.
Yeah, it sounds like they'd be spreading out to just cast their net again, since they have no specific address to focus on anymore. We've seen that a couple of times where they'd look at an address, they'd move to an address, and then they just move back on out into the neighborhood to see what they see. This is, again, that map. So the church right there, you see those kind of two X shapes right there. That's the church right there at 27th and Brown. So just south of that, one block is 27th and Vine, where we were focusing our attention a little bit ago. The top center of your screen, that was a location of the shooting there on Garfield.
Yeah, where it all started, and really gives you an idea of how much this scene has kind of moved and kind of shaken from one place to another. But I'm curious in knowing what the officers, the type of information that they're getting in when it comes to dealing with this suspect. Is it a suspect on the run? They obviously know who they're looking for from the reports that we've received, and so they've got these areas taped off where no one's coming in and no one's leaving out. So it will be interesting to see if in fact they walk away with that suspect tonight.
So it's a neighborhood that's just crawling with police tonight as they are searching for the person who shot two of their officers around 10 minutes after 9, responding to, as our Ben Jordan tells us, a domestic violence call. Our sources telling us it was almost an ambush where these officers never even had a chance when they rolled up on the scene. They were both shot, taken to Freighted Hospital. That's where we have our Ben Jordan. Ben is telling us biographical details of one of the officers involved. He's been on the job for about 6 years. One of them got to the hospital in critical condition. The other officer got to the hospital in much more serious condition, but we're hearing better things about him at the moment. Ben Jordan, I'm told we're coming back to you right now. What do you know?
We just saw about 8 squads with their sirens blaring showing up here. Larger group of officers likely here to support their two fellow officers who are here getting treatment. This is the most movement we've seen ever since we've been here for about the past 45 minutes.
Chris, thank you for the 13 months, man.
Waiting outside of an entrance for an adult emergency entrance here at Frederick Hospital. So we're waiting to see if there are any developments coming out of Frederick. Steve.
All right, Ben, we're going to stick with your camera just for a little bit in case we happen to see if this is a caravan that's including like the brass from Milwaukee Police. Again, we do not expect to see Chief Norman here tonight. He is at a conference for police chiefs in Texas. He's a vice president in that group. He was there on business. But I'm sure he's trying to get back here to his department just as quickly as he can.
It says the email was sent.
Even tonight, having to call in
at 12:56.
Police Commission.
I didn't get an email though.
Where he was given a new term as police chief for the city because he was away on official department business. But again, the chief, I'm sure, is making every effort to get back to Milwaukee just as quickly as he possibly can. We do see in the Sallyport there a lot of the motorcycles, the motorcycle cops, some of whom were with the ambulances as they got to the hospital. And then there's this group of officers standing right here and others in and around the hospital. This is something we've seen before as officers in grave condition are treated. Everyone stands outside waiting for word on what's happened to their brother or sister in blue who has been taken to Frederick Hospital for life-saving measures. Again, one of the both officers we know were taken to Frederick critical from the scene with police leading the way on the freeway to Frederick Hospital. One of those officers critical. The other one had very grave injuries. We were told to expect the death of a Milwaukee police officer tonight from multiple sources.
You got an email? Oh, okay, that's so weird.
The hospital regain a pulse, we were told.
Because it said it sent it to 900 something people. 153 opened it.
Just waiting for.
I didn't get one though. It's really weird.
An update not only on their status, but also just to give us some details.
Maybe I'm blind.
What happened tonight? As you know, Steve, officer-involved shootings are emotionally charged scenarios, and these incidents require rapid response, leaving very little time for deliberation. And so what could possibly be going on in the minds of these officers who are all over, those at the hospital, as we see, also those who are on the scene in the neighborhood where this all started around 24th and Garfield. But I think it's safe to know that they are all there supporting each other right now just to not only find that suspect, but also to support their brothers, sisters, all of those who are in blue, and praying for the best case scenario.
Yeah, this would also be the makings of a procession right here if they had to follow the body of a fallen officer from the hospital to the medical examiner's office. This is typically what happens. You gather like this, and when it's time to go, everybody goes together, because that's why you've descended on the hospital now after midnight. We've turned into Friday morning here, the 27th of June. Where two police officers fighting for their lives inside Frederick Hospital after they were shot just about 3 hours ago in the area around 24th and Garfield. And there are now dozens and dozens of officers outside the hospital, more arriving even right now to show their support. Don't know if these are people just getting off their shift or if they're coming in off duty to do this, but this is where they feel compelled to be tonight, and darn it, that is where they're going to be until they get word on what has happened. Meanwhile, back in the neighborhood around 24th and Garfield, remarkable effort by police to try and find the person who's responsible for this. You cannot go a block in an area about 4 or 5 blocks around 24th and Garfield without encountering a police officer, or a squad car, multiple officers, or a dog. Drones are in the air over that neighborhood right now as they're trying to find this person.
Oh, it came into my spam folder. What the?
Unturned.
Well, I have reached out to one of my police sources, and what we have right now, I think it's pretty much what we know. Milwaukee police are on the scene of this critical incident on the area of North 25th Street in Garfield. they're asking that you please avoid the area as there's still a threat to the public. And this is still an active scene, and officers are searching for a suspect in the vicinity. The details regarding a media briefing will be provided via a media advisory as soon as possible. So these are things that I think we pretty much knew, but definitely verified by an officer who is giving us an update on what they are looking at right now.
Again, what we're looking at right now is Freighter Hospital, where it's just a wave after wave of law enforcement arriving to the gangway outside the emergency room entrance. You see there the line of motorcycles. Some of those motorcycles likely involved in escorting the ambulances from the shooting scene at 24th and Garfield to the hospital right there. And there's just that line of squad cars on the that line of squad cars there on the drive outside the hospital as well. We're going to leave the scene here on the hospital and get back out to the area where this all happened.
Yeah, and we have Mike Beermeister, who is standing by ready to give us an update. Mike, what do you have for us at this point?
Yeah, Andrea, we drove around. We were trying to find a better vantage point to see more of the scene, and we ended up coming back here to 27th and Garfield. You're looking down Garfield right now towards that 24th, 25th Street. And I have to say, in the past 30 minutes, I mean, this has completely changed. It's very quiet here now. People have all moved inside of their homes. I mean, there's only a couple of news crews, and you can still see police walking around, but again, a noticeable change from what we saw before here as police continue to carry out their investigation throughout this neighborhood and throughout this area. We had a number of onlookers here earlier, but now they have all dispersed. But it's noticeably different here. Just here, we're on the corner again of 27th and Garfield. You're looking down Garfield right now where we believe this incident happened, 24th and 25th Street. They have moved us off at least 2 blocks since we've arrived here, all the way back. We're just outside of Starnes Early Childhood Center right now, but very calm and very quiet here as we give you a live look down Garfield.
And as many people probably would be in bed and sleeping at this point in the neighborhood, any of those onlookers share any information with you on what they heard, what they think, any information from people in the neighborhood?
Yeah, when I was down on 26th in Garfield, there was 2 women standing outside on the porch. They were watching what happened, but they told me that they had heard a number of shots fired. At first, they thought it was fireworks, and then they heard more and more, and that's when they started to question. And that syncs up with some of the other people I've spoken to who have come up here to the scene, that they heard just a number of shots fired, which really made them think what is going on here? What are we listening to? So that's what we're hearing from people here out on the street, but many of them have gone into their homes now.
Understandably so, and really they're being asked to stay in their homes at this point as these areas continue to be searched and police are kind of moving about this whole vicinity looking for their suspect. From the reports that we've received, they know who they're looking for. They're using drones, their K9 units, and police appear to be determined to find this suspect.
And one way or the other, they will. I can't recall a situation where a police officer has been shot that they have not found their person here in the city of Milwaukee. They will turn over every stone to do it. But the tone in the neighborhood around 24th and Garfield has really shifted here in the last 2 hours. There was a frenetic pace to officers moving around the neighborhood, and now it has really changed.
Some not so good news, so we can get an update really to our viewers right now. Looks like something from the Milwaukee Police Association.
Yeah, the police union, the Milwaukee Police Association, we're going to read part of their statement here. It is with profound sorrow and outrage we confirm 2 Milwaukee police officers were tragically shot and critically injured in the line of duty tonight. Our thoughts are with these officers. They face unimaginable suffering and have long roads ahead of them. This senseless act of violence has struck the very heart of the department and our community. We have reached a breaking point. This is the police union speaking here, saying violence in our city is out of control. We've had 5 officers killed in the line of duty over the past 7 years, and dozens of officers have been shot at while trying to serve our neighborhoods. They say they're grateful to all the first responders, the doctors, nurses, and medical professionals who've cared for their officers tonight. We will continue to pray for their recovery and ask the community for their prayers. So again, the Milwaukee Police Union saying 2 officers shot and critically injured in the line of duty.
Yeah, and that is a key word, critically injured. They say that their officers wear the badge with pride and honor, but their officers need more leadership from the city to bring an end to this violence. This is what has been said. And so it will be interesting in the days to come on how we begin to approach this scenario that we seem to hear day in and day out of individuals with guns who most of the time shouldn't have access to a gun. So this is what we know right now. This is what we know. Critically injured officers at Flatlined Hospital. We do have our reporter, Ben Jordan, there at Flatlined. He has been giving us an update on what he knows, and if we can get back out to Ben, we can see if in fact we have any more information.
Ben, walk us through what you've been able to see out there over the last 45 minutes or so.
Steve, just real quick, I just got off the phone with a spokesperson for the mayor of Milwaukee, and I'm told that a news conference will take place at the scene of the shooting when it's safe to do so, likely once a suspect is in custody. I'm told it will not take place here at the hospital, but rather at the scene of the shooting. Now, as far as the hospital behind me, we're seeing a lot of officers at this entryway, just standing there right next to one another, gathering in the same place. We've seen maybe a dozen squad show up within the past 15 minutes or so joining this group. See another officer over here that in fact it looks like it might be a sheriff's vehicle showing up over here at Flatlined Hospital. So we're staying here awaiting any new details coming out of the hospital about these officers' conditions. Steve.
All right, Ben Jordan at Flatlined Hospital. So we should not expect a briefing from Milwaukee police or other city leaders until the suspect is in custody. No telling when that could happen, but they say it will happen at the scene of the incident when the scene is safe. And it is not that at this time because the suspect is still at large in the neighborhood.
And Steve, getting back to what was written on the Police Association's Facebook page about leadership, I think it's safe to say that leadership in this city, everybody wants a safe community, not only for those who live here, but for those who serve and protect. So as I stated earlier, it will be interesting to hear where do we go from here, because this is something that continues to happen in our city, and it's upsetting, it's traumatic, and I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah, it's been a very stressful time for law enforcement in this city with the number of officers they've had shot over the last few years, the number of officers who've lost their lives in the line of duty over the last few years. It's tough work being a cop. It's a tough work being a cop in the city of Milwaukee, and it has been especially difficult in the last 7 years in the city of Milwaukee. You go 2 decades without a death in the line of duty, and then you get 5 in the span of just a couple of years. And then tonight, 2 officers critically wounded in what's described to us as an ambush type situation at 24th and Garfield. It's really difficult work that they do, and it's understandable any frustration they have with the way the community and city leaders could view them. But right now, all our thoughts are with those 2 officers who who are fighting for their lives at Frederick Hospital.
Absolutely. And we are looking at this scene that we've pretty much been with throughout the night. We're going past 3 hours now since the first call came in to 24th and Garfield. And we are continuing to see officers who are kind of patrolling. I think this is a patrol of the area, really making sure no one comes in to the vicinity that they're searching and that no one goes out. So this is what has taken place and has been taking place, like I said, for the last 3 hours.
A piece of information we can gather from what Ben Jordan just reported is if they're not going to give a briefing until a person's in custody, and there's no time set for that, that they've not been able to get anyone in custody. That was one thing that popped into my mind as we've seen the posture at some of these scenes around 24th and Garfield relax slightly. Maybe they've got someone. I mean, that's a thought that does pop into your head when you see police stand down a little bit. Maybe they've got their guy and they're just not ready to announce it yet. But if we're hearing from Ben and the City Hall source there that a briefing won't come until they know they've got this person in custody and there's no timeline for that, that's another indication that they're still actively searching for this person in the neighborhood. But again, right now, there is no frantic scene of a search in the blocks around 24th and Garfield. We've seen it a couple of times. We've shown you tape of it as well, of these officers moving through the area with dogs, with their long guns, with their ballistic shields. None of that is happening right now. It is a very, it's tense in the neighborhood, but officers are more relaxed than we have seen them at any point tonight.
In comparison.
In comparison.
Yeah, absolutely. Wondering where Miriam is right now and if she can give us an update from where she is. I've seen residents out there on the street, what we're seeing right now.
And that's not advisable if you live in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I was going to say it's clearly being asked of residents to please stay inside. This is not a time to gather phone video or anything of that nature. They're asking you to respect what they're trying to do, as 2 Milwaukee police officers are fighting for their lives. They've been critically injured after being shot there at 24th and Garfield. Do we have Miriam anywhere around to find out her location and what she knows at this time?
Yeah, Andrea and Steve, it's pretty clear that the search has now moved into the neighborhood east of 27th Street. That seems to be where all of the officers and also the shielded officers, the canines, have moved. So as you can see, you mentioned that there were some onlookers. There were people sitting on their porch. There was a number of people standing near the intersection where that church is here on 27th and Brown. But as I mentioned, it's my understanding that this search has now moved east of 27th into that residential neighborhood. That is where we saw officers with their flashlights. We tried to move east into those neighborhoods. We were quickly pushed back as well. So it's my understanding that that is where that search is now being focused. And as I mentioned to you and Steve earlier, the officers have certainly spread out from this location on 27th and Vine to kind of get a wider range of the perimeter as they are still what it seems to be actively searching for the suspect.
Miriam, would you agree with the assessment that it's still tense out there, but it's more relaxed than it has been at other points in the evening? I mean, these officers just really seem to be standing by waiting for their next assignment.
Absolutely, Steve. To give you an indication, we were able to pull up our news vehicle through 27th and park it a little closer to where we're standing earlier in the evening when they told us there was absolutely no foot traffic south on 27th. That wasn't possible. So it seems that the officers have sort of cleared specific areas, are centering their searches elsewhere. So from where we're standing, I think it's just kind of a waiting game to see if they get any more leads or onto something else, and that's sort of when you feel the energy in the air sort of tense up a bit, to your point. So I think a lot of the officers from where we're standing are, again, just waiting to hear what's next as the search continues.
Thank you, Miriam.
everyone everywhere just standing by right now. The officers in the area around 24th and Garfield, right here near 27th and Vine, as well as all the officers outside Freighted Hospital on the west side of the city, sharing border with Wauwatosa over there, where all the officers have gathered in vigil for the 2 officers who are inside the hospital being worked on as the medical team there tries to save their lives. They were both transported there in critical condition from the shooting scene on the north side of Milwaukee.
And needless to say, this has been an extremely long night for so many individuals. It's traumatizing to know that 2 officers are fighting for their lives, and it makes things very tense knowing that there is a suspect that is still out there, but police are committed to finding that individual, and they've told us that once they have arrested a suspect, then they will give us an update on what they know.
It's remarkable to see so many officers just arriving at the hospital.
Crazy. I'll be right back. I'm going to use the restroom. Oh, we got 3K people in here. What's up, guys? I didn't realize.
Waiting for word. And,
I was trying to fix this email thing. I might fix it. I realized why it showed up as spam.
See what the doctors inside
it's because of the way it was. I did a whole bunch of changes. Let me just use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Presumably followed the ambulances into that bay with the officers inside, and then there is that line of squad cars that is parked in the drive right there. In the past, we have seen this turn into a procession for a fallen officer. We can't say that at this point, as the earlier reports that the officer had died, well, though they were negated by the medical team at Freighted, that we're told was able to regain a pulse and get to work on that officer and make every effort to save his life. Yeah. And this is that line of squad cars right there, as some of them are plainclothes cars. We see more law enforcement showing up right here.
And those look like members of the sheriff's department.
Those look, yeah, I see the brown shirts right there that would indicate those are sheriff's deputies. I believe they're wearing brown shirts now. I thought they went between black and brown there for a little bit. I'm not sure what they're wearing at the moment, but those do look to be sheriff's deputies. Hard to tell at night from this distance. Mm-hmm. But everybody's showing up here at the hospital to show support to one another.
Yeah, it definitely says sheriff on the back of that shirt. So law enforcement from different parts of the city, the county, all coming together. And of course, they all understand the oath that they take when it comes to serving and protecting. And when something like this happens, it is devastating. And I'm sure there are prayers and a lot of hope that things can turn out differently than what it looks like right now.
Yeah, hoping that the worst case is not the case in this instance. As the doctors at Freighted have been able to at least regain a pulse in the one officer we believed had lost his life.
Yeah, and there was one person. So this was some type of ambush, and there was one person that was reported to have been dead. Those reports saying that the cop was dead, but now they're saying they were able to get a pulse back. And so I'm hoping, everybody's hoping that this person can make it out of there. So far, these guys are still on the loose. Manhunt. Oh, I see people tagging me here. Thank you. Tagging me on the story. They did confirm about the whole shooting thing. I wonder if we can get the scanner on too. I'll check it out. I don't know if there's anything interesting on the scanner.
Who they're looking for, from reading criminal complaints and other court documents. We know they can track cell phones. If this individual has a phone, he may be able to be tracked that way. They have drones in the air. They can look for heat signatures in the neighborhood if somebody's hiding in a place.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin. She was right.
98 degrees will stick out like a sore thumb on a drone that's able to see body heat. But right now, everyone is just in a relaxed standby posture, waiting to see where they're supposed to go next. There is no intent focus on any one property.
Yeah, and we do know that this started out from reports as a domestic violence call. And that leads to where it makes sense that they know who they're looking for and all of those things that have followed. So an extremely long night. That's the best way I can put it. Extremely long night.
Let's get back out to Ben Jordan at Frederick Hospital. Ben, what can you tell us?
Steve and Andrea, we are still outside of Frederick Hospital, where you can see a large contingent of Milwaukee police officers standing in a line behind me outside of this entrance to the hospital, praying for their two officers, the brothers in blue, who are inside this building getting treatment in critical condition. We've
Linda,
seen
thank you for the 8. Watching from Australia.
Show up within the past 15-20 minutes, but it looks like about 36 officers standing outside of the hospital right now. We just learned from the City of Milwaukee Mayor's office that a news conference will not take place here. It is scheduled to take place at the scene of the shooting when it is safe to do so, likely after they have a suspect in custody. We are going to remain out here to monitor what's going on here at Frederick Hospital. Steve?
All right, Ben Jordan at the hospital with, again, so many members of law enforcement who have gathered there to stand vigil while the two officers taken to the hospital in critical condition are worked on inside by the medical teams at Frederick. Just to recap one more time, the initial reports we had from our sources in law enforcement was that one of the officers lost his life at the scene. Subsequently, we have been told doctors at Frederick were able to regain a pulse, and that gave them the green light to go ahead and try further life-saving measures on that officer they thought who had lost his life there at the scene at 24th and Garfield. So everybody's standing by waiting to see if they're able to pull this guy through.
Absolutely, and we do know from the reports that came from the police association that these officers are in critical condition.
Again, no news conference from police or city leaders scheduled for any time soon. That will only happen after a suspect has been taken into custody, and there's just no scene in the area around 24th and Garfield that looks like a suspect is zeroed in on. Even though law enforcement sources are telling our Ben Jordan they know exactly who they're looking for. They have a name. They know the person they want for this, and they're going to go to the ends of the earth to find them. But right now, not a whole lot of movement in the neighborhood.
And TMJ4 News has been there for wall-to-wall coverage. We have our Ben Jordan, who's at Frederick Hospital. We have Miriam McCarr, who's out in the neighborhood, the vicinity where a suspect's being searched for, and also Mike Bearmeister has been giving us an update on what he's finding out also in the vicinity of that shooting. So we've got our reporters there, our photojournalists are there giving us the scenes, and we are just in wait mode to see what unfolds from what we already know. And
unfortunately, that is what happens too many times in situations like this. We just have to kind of sit and wait and see how the situation unfolds. Mm-hmm. What we can tell you for sure is if you live near 25th and Garfield, you just need to be tucked inside your home right now. Stay safe, stay alert. If you see anything, call police, because they are searching your neighborhood right now for the person who shot two of their officers. And you do not want to scare any of these guys as they are searching backyards and side yards and gangways between houses and the like. Just sit tight. If you see anything, call it in. Milwaukee police are doing,
still on the loose, still on the loose
work in that neighborhood right now.
Yes, and our goal, of course, whenever we find out new information, we will be here to deliver it to you, and also just working all of our sources to get details that they are able to release to us at this time.
Again, this all started around 9:10 with a call of a shooting at 2217 North 24th Street. That's 24th Street, just north of Garfield. That is where officers responded. There's not much on that block. There's actually a huge vacant lot right there that looks to be where a number of houses have been demolished over the years. So it's kind of sparse right there. But police responded to that scene there, the call of a shooting at 2217 North 24th Street. Our sources telling us they were essentially ambushed at that shooting scene and did not have a chance to respond in any way. And then the suspect took off into the neighborhood around it, and that's why we see this just dragnet that has popped up swarming every single block, every single alley in this neighborhood.
Yeah, 12:30 now, so this has been going on for hours, and we do have our reporters out there. Wondering if we can check in with
is there anyone else that
can
convey whatever he's got to convey? Because we're trying to get him out because he's over 16.
Oh, something else.
Sir, we're 80 has a one moment.
Four or five dispatch. Can I get him on channel 3?
60.
Yeah, I'll go 3.
It's a much different vibe now.
Quiet, Steve. Very quiet out here. I mean, there's a bit of silence as you look down Garfield towards 24th Street.
She's out for field.
Again, we're right outside of Starm's Early Childhood Center, and we've been pushed back a couple of blocks since we arrived on scene here, but it is quiet. We are still seeing some movement from officers, but nothing like we saw a few hours ago where, as you said, Steve, I mean, they were moving in with guns drawn, shields. We saw a K-9 unit moving. We saw heavy drone activity down towards 24th Street.
4 or 5
but now things have really shifted here, the environment, and we're doing a lot of sitting and watching, trying to see if we can see anything, but there hasn't been a lot of movement here. As you look down Garfield, as well as down 27th Street, we've seen a few squad cars driving by here and there, but overall it has been quiet. The mood really, really shifted here.
Mike Biermeister in the neighborhood around 24th and Garfield, where, yep, the mood has decidedly shifted. We've seen a couple times now where there was a lot of very frantic police activity as they were intently focused on something. Now it's a lot of officers just looking for their next assignment, figuring out where to go next. We do see a few right here moving through with flashlights.
187,
and Mike is there at the scene where the shooting took place, and that is where we're expecting a press conference to unfold once they do have a suspect in custody. So, Steve, you have many years under your belt seeing things of this nature. So when you see a scene become quiet, like Mike has described, what do we assume?
Oh, it's hard to assume anything. It's just such a big neighborhood that it's hard to find somebody at night in a neighborhood like this, and it doesn't. You know, they've done a really good job shutting down movement, but in the time between when the shots were fired and when police really got their nets thrown over this neighborhood, their suspect could have gone anywhere. The suspect could be outside this web as well. But as you can see, they are not leaving anything.
4 or 5 dispatch, I'm back on 1. I'm 23 at CJF.
Flashlights in every nook and cranny here near 27th and Garfield, which is where Mike Biermeister set up. Earlier, we saw them really intently focused on a home near 27th and Brown, to the point where one of the officers is walking away with a giant set of bolt cutters, which you'd use to probably pop a lock on a house or a building that's boarded up or something like that to get in. So there's a lot of places to hide. There's a lot of places to look, and I'm sure they're going to look everywhere in this neighborhood until they find him or they've determined he's just not there anymore. But then it's helpful. We're told police know exactly who they're looking for.
Again, 5 and 6 are going to hang out. There's a group still waiting, I believe, on probably ride shares.
This person's going to call someone, who's going to say something to somebody, they're going to know, and they're going to find him that way. It's usually how it happens. If there was a case 14, 15 years ago, they tracked somebody all the way to Chicago. I believe that was crashed into an officer and severely injured an officer in a crash, and then that person fled to Chicago. They found him there. They will find this person if they know who it is.
There's no doubt about that in this day and age with the technology that they have access to. Anyone that's watching that has any information, of course, is encouraged to contact Milwaukee Police to help them with this case as well. So it would be appreciated if you know anything to share that information.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised if detectives have already reached out to members of this person's family, their network of friends, people, known acquaintances.
Thank you for the 15 months, Alan.
Doors in other parts of the city.
They're in the ER, yes.
As well.
Yes, they're in the ER.
Just to check, you know, they're already starting to cast that net wide person to person. I mean, they're
Thank you, Amy. Thanks for the
five. With guns and dogs right now. And they're doing a grid search here. This looks to be a little bit of a park right there with a couple of picnic tables in it. They're going to be doing this, and then the detectives are going to be out knocking on doors and making individual contact with people that this person knows. Really remarkable, though. I wonder if they're looking for shell casings or other pieces of evidence. Not sure what else you'd be looking for on the grass like that with flashlights. But trying to just dot every I and cross every T in their investigation.
No stone unturned.
No stone unturned as they're now moving on from this spot right here. Hey, Mike, any idea what they were looking for?
Yeah, we just saw them searching around with the flashlights, but didn't get any indication of exactly what they were searching for, just making their rounds all the way
looking around searching.
Starms Early Childhood Center. We saw them go to the playground. We saw them searching underneath bushes, inside. So assumingly they probably were looking for if this person was hiding out here, maybe hiding around the school and trying to just, you know, no stone left unturned, looking for every vantage point here to try and see if they could see anything or if they could find anything. But generally they were focusing on the bushes when we saw them making their way around the school, as well as the jungle gym just a little bit farther down 27th Street here at Starms Early Childhood Center. But they have since moved on, and now, as you can see, they are waiting here just outside of the corner of 27th and Garfield.
Thank you so much for that, Mike. And wondering if we can talk with Ben and see how things are out there at Freighter. It looks like there are more and more officers that are showing up there on the scene. And if Ben can give us an update of just what he's seen and what seems to be transpiring there outside of the hospital.
Hey, Ben.
Hi, Ben.
Andrea and Steve, you're right. More and more officers keep showing up by the minute. I would venture to guess about 100 officers are here. We've seen them move a little bit closer to the doors at the entrance of the hospital. From what I've learned from a well-placed police source is one of the officers who is in critical condition here has about 6 years of experience, and I've learned that this may have been a call for a domestic violence incident near 24th and Garfield. Let's take a look behind me here to take a closer look at all of the officers here. You can see squads lining this road right in front of us. We're at 89th and Wisconsin here at Freighter Hospital. I'm told that officers and the police department know who they're looking for, a named suspect. So they are continuing to search for that person, presumably into this night. We're going to remain out here and keep monitoring this situation. Not much has changed over the past hour or so since we got here, other than more officers showing up. We're obviously too far back to see if any Milwaukee police administrators or public information officers are here. Likely just a lot of officers who are here to support their brothers in blue. Steve?
Nothing has changed but the number of officers who are up and working at 12:40 in the morning, Friday morning now, as we have crossed nearly an hour into the new day. It was around 3.5 hours ago right now that all this began, with a team of police officers responding to the area around 24th and Garfield. They took fire. They were both hit and critically wounded, taken to Freighter Hospital, which is what we're looking at right here. It was believed that one of the officers would not survive his wounds, and that was the initial report we received from multiple high-ranking law enforcement sources. When they got inside the hospital, doctors were able to regain a pulse on that officer, which is why we have backed away from the initial report that there was a an officer killed in the line of duty. And then we're told they're working on that officer trying to save his life. So everybody is now standing outside of Freighted Hospital with bated breath for the possibility that officer will pull through.
Hopefully he pulls through.
Meanwhile, back in the neighborhood, there is a door-to-door search. They are using flashlights in parks looking for evidence. The suspect, they believe, may not have gotten too far as police closed in very quickly on the area around 24th and Garfield. They threw up roadblocks, they've shut down streets, they put squad cars on every corner, police officers on every corner to make sure nobody could go anywhere without being seen. But still, they don't have their guy. They know who they're looking for, they just don't have him at this point. Still working the case, looking at every door, looking through windows, looking in parks for evidence, whatever it takes. They will find their guy, it's just going to take some time.
Yeah, and if it takes until the wee hours of the night for them to do that, that it appears they are determined to do. Just taking a look at this scene, you just described them walking door to door with the flashlights, and there are officers that are placed strategically on every part of that sidewalk, so people are not coming in, people are not going out, and they're asking residents to remain in their home, which it is, you know, almost 1 in the morning, so a lot of people probably wanting to get some sleep, but this is a very troubling scene. It's scary, and
well, tuck yourself in safe and just make sure you're safe, but go ahead and get some, and try to get some rest. Police will be in this neighborhood until they don't need to be anymore. But we're also noticing officers, their posture has relaxed just a little bit. There are pockets of things we're seeing where they'll do a search, where they'll be shining flashlights, but a lot of officers are just standing waiting for their assignment, told where to go next, what to search next, what stone to turn over next, as they are searching for this known suspect who shot 2 of their officers.
Absolutely. And so we sit and wait, just like many of the officers that we've seen at the hospital, those officers that we're looking at there on the sidewalk. This officer's kind of stretching. Can you imagine being out there for hours at a time, just waiting to be told where to go and what to do? This is where we are right now, and we are going to stay here and keep you up to date as things unfold.
Yeah, I mean, the word we have from City Hall is no briefing until the suspect's in custody. I mean, I have to imagine they will brief. If it takes a while to get the suspect in custody, I imagine there'd be a briefing before then. They're not going to make us wait that long, but it's going to be a while before we hear official word from anybody about what happened here. So this camera is Mike Biermeister's camera. We have Mariam McCarr out there as well, and then we have Ben Jordan at the hospital here, Freighted Hospital, where you see just that line of squad cars, some of them unmarked plain vehicles as well, and then just a gaggle of law enforcement. They at one point were all there at kind of the end of the driveway of that gangway. Have they moved closer in to the gangway? Yeah, it's just so many law enforcement here, just standing vigil, waiting to hear what the doctors inside have been able to do.
Just taking in the scene and giving people an opportunity to see what we've described, basically.
And again, the statement from both the police union and the police department is 2 officers critically injured in the line of duty. They are fighting for their lives inside Freighted Hospital right now, while another team of officers is just scouring the neighborhood where it happened, looking for the person whose name they know, who is believed to have been the shooter here. Are we able to check in with Mariam McCarr again, back in the neighborhood? She's at a different location. Okay, Mariam McCarr is moving right now. Excuse me. Mariam has been on a couple of spots tonight where we've seen police really amping up their activity, but right now, not a lot of activity in the area. They're doing minor searches here and there, but there's no real intense focus on any one spot.
And something you've talked about earlier, there have been 5 officers shot in the last 7 years. And it makes it hard for those who get up and put on that uniform every day, not
I couldn't be a cop.
what can happen to them while they are patrolling the
They hate them. They're getting killed all the time.
Protecting, as I've said.
Thanks, Dusty.
And this is also the worst case scenario when you take an oath to serve and protect.
Well, it looks like my supposition is correct. We do have an update. Media staging for this critical incident will be at North 27th and North, and they're going to give us that briefing in about 30 to 45 minutes. So sometime between 1:15 and 1:30, we are told to expect a briefing on this critical incident. Again, 2 officers taken to Frederick Hospital, critical condition, and they're being worked on inside the hospital right now. Hopefully, we can tell you both these officers are going to pull through. But again, 45 minutes or so maximum is the window we've been given right here for a briefing. We're going to try to cut Mike Biermeister free so he can get a camera over there to be ready for that briefing.
Yes, and again, part of that statement from the Milwaukee Police Association said their thoughts are with these officers, their families, friends, and colleagues, and they face unimaginable
Finally,
and
got the email to go through. Jesus Christ.
The Milwaukee Police Association clearly going through some things tonight with their officers, as they now know that it's been a really rough stretch of years.
That's the stuff on the back end that happens.
Line of duty, having officers shot in the line of duty. We had the incident earlier this year where the officer on Wisconsin Avenue was shot by somebody with a long gun. It's just constant that Milwaukee police have come under fire in this city. It seems that everybody's walking around with a gun and nobody has second thoughts about using it.
No, man, people don't care. They don't care about their lives. They don't care about anything.
So much more dangerous.
Yeah, and we've heard from the families who have lost their loved ones who were in the line of duty, and we know that this is something that stays with them for years and years. It never really goes away, and I can only imagine that seeing what we are witnessing tonight only brings back that trauma for them.
Miriam McCarr has reestablished her camera. Miriam, let's start once again by telling us where you are.
So we have set up shop now here near 24th and Lloyd, just to get an idea of what officers are doing within this neighborhood here. As you can see through my photojournalist's shot right now, we can see a number of officers within backyards with their flashlights still diligently searching through the backyard areas and the alleys of these neighborhoods. That seems to be sort of the name of the game at this hour. A number of these streets and areas are still blocked off. We are in one sort of open area, but our surrounding streets are all taped off here. So we have a good vantage point at officers right now, just with their flashlights, doing their due diligence and searching through all of these backyards. Again, we're at 24th and Lloyd at the moment, but this seems to be what most of the officers are doing that we can see in the area right now, which is just looking through these backyards, seeing what they can find. Nothing with extreme urgency, just scanning through the backyards of these homes right now.
1 yard at a time. Miriam McCarr, thank you. We're going to stick with your shot for a little bit as it's some of the only activity going on in the neighborhood right now with these officers going through with flashlights, looking for anything they can see.
Well, the thing is, it's super dangerous because these people could shoot and kill somebody else. They shot 2 cops with no regard.
Still feels somewhat dangerous for those officers who are looking for that suspect.
Abby, thank you so much for the memberships.
And
gracias. Late night.
The other scene at Frederick Hospital, where it's been a stream of officers over the last 90 minutes or so showing up to stand watch outside for the 2 officers inside who are fighting for their lives. In this scene right here, the officers are searching for the person who tried to take their lives. It's just a remarkable showing from law enforcement at this very early hour on Friday morning in both the neighborhood and at the hospital. Everybody's standing by waiting. This is the hospital shot I was mentioning right here. And we don't know if they're coming off their shift, if they put their uniforms on or just grabbed a baseball cap and rushed out there as quickly as they can just to show support. But it is a large number of law enforcement that continues to arrive outside Frederick Hospital. Well, back in the neighborhood, they're turning over every stone trying to find the person they did this.
And clearly coming from every police district across the city, we had mentioned earlier that District 7 was right around the area where their shooting happened. And I'm guessing that officers from each district across the city of Milwaukee have made their way to that scene, to the vicinity, as well as to the hospital.
Had another group of officers moving through the neighborhood around 24th and Garfield, moving quite differently than what we saw a couple of hours ago, where they were moving with dogs and their ballistic shields and their long guns deployed. This is just a lot of officers with flashlights, searching for whatever little bits of evidence they could probably find out there. This is not a search for a person they think might be somewhere. They're just looking for the parts that make up a case like this. But again, they're just going door to door, looking yard to yard, making sure that nothing is unturned. And you do see that one officer there does have her weapon drawn. As they're
I would too.
around corners.
Yeah. You don't know these people are waiting. They already ambushed 2 cops.
I mean, they know this person has shot at 2 officers tonight, so you got to be careful when you're searching the neighborhoods. Again, just dozens of police officers in the neighborhood there around 24th and Lloyd. This is where this camera is, where Mariam McCarr has moved to, just a couple blocks away from the initial shooting scene at 24th and Garfield. It's just methodical what they're doing here. They're just going to go car to car. I believe I even saw somebody shining a light in a trash can sitting at the curb a little bit earlier. They're going to just look everywhere they can for anything they can.
And this has been seen as a domestic violence call. It started off as a domestic violence call and turned into what we are seeing right now, with 2 officers critically injured at Frederick Hospital.
Appears to be somebody just trying to get to their home tonight.
Yeah, people coming off of a different shift from work are going to be making their way to their homes in the neighborhood, I'm sure, and so this is what we're working with.
So many law enforcement right now either working, wishing they were working, or standing by, supporting in any way they can. This is what happens in these times, where police will do whatever they need to do. They need to feel they feel the need to do something at a time like this, which is why you've got so many officers just kind of hanging out outside of Frederick, waiting for word, providing any support they can. Their presence simply helping send good vibes to their officers inside the hospital.
Absolutely, that support system. We're coming up on 1 a.m. So looking at having some sort of update from officials. What time did you say again, Steve?
Sometime between 1:15 and 1:30 is what we're told. So we're 20 minutes or so away from that.
Might as well wait.
At the very least. So
Friday, Felony Fridays, guys. Happy Friday.
City leaders to brief us on that situation. They're going to do that not far from the shooting scene. Originally, they told.
I don't know. That's a good question that you have there. Let me see who is that. Little Miss Red Velvet says, new here, just saw your YouTube feed from the UK. What's up? Welcome. Excuse me. Can I ask, does it seem this perpetrator is seeking out cops? I really have no idea, but you know what I've seen? I've seen some posts like on TikTok telling people to target ICE, to shoot, to kill them. Now, I know I'm not saying this wasn't ICE, but there's some people that have been calling out to kill and attack and shoot law enforcement. So I don't know. Well, the person could have an extensive criminal history, you know, and they're very desperate not to get caught. But I feel like it's kind of been open season for cops. It really has. Open season.
That's what we're waiting for, is that news conference to take place in a little
Yeah,
bit.
gonna have a little news. I guess at some point, maybe if they'll get to it.
In the meantime,
News conference, 15, 20 minutes.
Having this wall-to-wall coverage with our reporters out on the scene. We have Mike and Miriam, who are in the neighborhood, and then we have Ben Jordan, who is at Frederick Hospital. And we do know that the officers who were shot earlier this evening are in critical condition, and that's all we know. Yeah, I mean, we've basically told you every detail that we've been able to pull together from official sources and from our nameless sources who are helping us understand what's going on out there tonight. But it's, again, 2 officers shot about 10 minutes after 9, coming up almost 4 hours now since that happened. Those 2 officers were shot while responding to the area near 24th and Garfield. They were hit. They were taken to Frederick. Both of them, as we heard on that little bit of scanner audio, taken in critical condition to the hospital. And that is where they're being worked on right now.
We have 983 email subscribers. So I'm trying to get to 1,000 at 1,000. I'm going to do some kind of giveaway. So check out the mailing list. We're about to hit 1,000.
They're not really going inside houses that they don't have reason to, but they're checking every yard. They're looking around every corner to make sure that the person that did this is not hiding somewhere. One bit of reassuring news is we're told they have a name. They know exactly the person who they believe is responsible for this, and that will help them greatly develop their case as to where this person could be hiding out in the hours, or if it takes that long, the days to come. Let's get back out to Mike Biermeister in the neighborhood at 27th and North. Mike, you're set up where this news conference is going to happen shortly.
That's right, Stephen. If you look straight down North Avenue, I mean, just look at the amount of police cars that you see here. That just shows you just how big this response is. We can see the tactical command scene set up a little bit farther down, but most of these cars parked here right now, looking all the way down. And you could see just, police, obviously, looks like one of, the places where folks are parking and coming up and then joining in on the search. So this is certainly a very active scene here, as we can see.
Active, man, active, late night.
Mike Biermeister out there at the scene near 27th and North. We're going to get back to you in a little bit as soon as that news conference begins. Again, the window we were given opens in about 15 minutes when we can expect a briefing with police leaders and city leaders on what happened here. Again, we don't expect Chief Norman to be here. We do know he was out of town tonight. He actually dialed in remotely for the Fire and Police Commission meeting where he was given a new term as Milwaukee's police chief. But I'm sure he's trying to get back here just as fast as he can. So someone else from Milwaukee Police Department expected to likely speak along with other city leaders. Last we checked, the mayor was going to work his way over there to this location now that it's been set up. Okay, Mike Biermeister, we're going to go back to your shot here. This is Alex Ayala with the Milwaukee Police Union. Let's listen in.
Do you feel that message is falling on deaf ears?
It is. I mean, it just keeps happening again. I mean, 2 of my officers shot today, and one of them was very critical. I mean, we almost lost an officer tonight. This is
he survived. That's amazing.
This is unacceptable. Again,
I got to fix the title,
4 officers shot in the last 5 months. Like, what is the city's trying to do? Like, what is the point of all this? Like, I'm going to start losing officers to this, and this is ridiculous. Like, the violence has to stop. It ends now. It's ridiculous. And the coward that did this didn't even give a chance to the police officers to do anything. immediately started shooting at them.
What do you mean by that? We've heard through a variety of sources ambush. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it was an ambush. So the coward tried to ambush my police officers tonight and almost took the life of one of them. This has to stop. This has to stop. Trying to kill police officers in the city of Milwaukee is not acceptable at all.
Are you aware of anything that led up, or just quite literally an ambush for no apparent reason?
All I have is it was an ambush. So I know they're going to come out and do a press conference, so I got to go meet with them. So we'll see you guys soon, okay? Thank you.
Thanks, Alex.
Lynn, thank you. I appreciate you with the heads up.
From the police union.
I saw your email earlier.
Very passionate.
Took like half an hour to fix
Obviously
it.
very concerned for his police officers. I mean, you could hear it from what he was saying. Clearly talking about how he heard this was an ambush and that his officers were shot and obviously now fighting for their lives.
Hi there, Mary.
Looks like we're about to get this media conference underway over here as well. So we're keeping an eye on both of these right now.
Okay. Do you need to move it any closer, or does it look like it's coming to you, Mike?
I wonder how you go back to work after this. Like, if you get shot, critically, almost killed, like, how do you go back to work? How do you, I don't know. And not be paranoid as hell, man. Every stop, I'm stopping everybody now. I'm pulling out my gun. That's why I can't be a cop. I'd have to pull out my gun because I'm paranoid.
Again, because we did pick it up a little bit late. You may have heard some things before we took your shot live to air.
And he was clearly very upset.
He's hot.
And is calling for leadership in this city to do something about the violence.
Well, New York is actually on the way of defunding the police. That new candidate that I guess he was elected. New York is pushing to the route of, well, we're going to defund cops. We're going to try to have these social workers. They're also saying for burglaries, robberies, and stuff like that it shouldn't be considered violent. And so he seems to be, I guess he feels he's going to try to take people on a rehabilitation type of thing. But it seems like there's going to be less repercussions for criminals and less funding for cops. And I mean, that guy is going to be something else in New York. So some of the places, okay, good luck without the cops. If these people are shooting and killing, cops will shoot and kill you and your kids and your family, nothing, just get away with it. And then it's not being able to investigate it either.
The shooter, the coward, as Alex Ayala described him, who
it's all over on X, Alan.
To respond.
He's made posts. He even has new videos talking about it.
Clearly frustrated and understandably frustrated.
That's why it's getting so much criticism.
Police officers have come under fire in the past few months. The streets are just replete with people who have guns and no hesitation to use them on each other or on law enforcement. It is just an endemic problem in the city of Milwaukee.
He's very clear about what his envisionment and what he wants to do. It's all over the place.
And angry and willing to open fire.
And sadly, you can say that
you go live with them, Alan.
Across this country.
Go live in that city with no cops and shit.
It's all across the country, and I don't know, like I said earlier, where we go from here when you have individuals like the one we just heard from who are clearly frustrated, angry, and upset. And really are delivering that message straight to the leaders who have been elected to lead the city.
But we have heard the same frustration before.
Yeah, we have.
I mean,
there's no question.
The words have been said before, and the change has not really come.
What changes?
How you move the ball forward is a question for the city leaders and the leaders in these communities that see so much of this problem. And well, I'm sure we'll be talking more about that in the days and weeks to come. But as Alex Ayala said, his officers are really going through a lot right now. One other thing Alex Ayala said is one of his officers came really close to losing his life tonight. So we hope that as an indication that the officer who was believed to have died, that they were able to pull a pulse back on him at Frederick Hospital, that they've been able to maintain that, and they still have him fighting for his life at the hospital.
They're saying that Milwaukee has seen a surge in violence targeting police, with multiple shootings this month and several officers critically injured. Maybe they want to get rid of the cops. If you get rid of the cops, does that solve the problem? Does that help out the community? Yeah, that's what they've been calling for. Maybe less cops. Let the city deal with itself.
Alla was headed. Hopefully he's going to get some information, and he and other leaders will tell us what they know here in the next couple of minutes here near 27th and North. Just south of it is where the search is still underway. They know who they're looking for. That is the one promising piece of information we can tell you about this big police search that's underway. They know exactly who it is they want to find, and that makes it so much easier. It's hard to find somebody in a neighborhood, but if he's reaching out to somebody for a car, for a phone, for money, for a place to sleep, for a place to hide out, those are places detectives can go to. They're going to find out who his network of friends are. They're going to find out who his family is.
They know the car you drive, the license plate,
exactly,
all those things.
Exactly. They're going to be able to find you. We've got, camera systems around the city of Milwaukee where you can actually do some license plate recognition if he is known to have a car. Those things will come into play as well. A lot of resources that the detectives who do the investigations on a big case like this can deploy to help find a person. He can hide. He won't be able to hide for long because some nugget of information, he's going to pick up a phone, he's going to use a piece of technology that's going to have a fingerprint on it that they're going to be able to track, and they're going to be able to find him. It's how it works in these days.
Yeah. It's
remarkable the amount of evidence that law enforcement can pull from thin air that you don't even know you're sending out into the world. So 1:20, we're told, the news conference. So 12 minutes from now, we'll get you to that point.
We'll wait for the news conference.
12 minutes when we're going to get that briefing on what's happened earlier tonight at 24th, 25th, and Garfield. But all we know is the two officers, critical condition when they left the scene. They're at Freighter Hospital, really big contingent of officers at Freighter right now providing support, standing by in vigil. Even more officers in the neighborhood where this happened, trying to find the person who pulled the trigger and shot two Milwaukee police officers.
Yeah, we're taking a live look at 27th and North now, and that's where you see a number of police.
Oh, thanks. Job. What's up, man?
With the lights still going and things.
Well, I thought he won. Did he win? Mel, he won the primary. He was not elected. Curtis Sliwa is going to win if I have anything to say about it. Oh, okay, I got you. But he won because what? Chris Cuomo stepped out? Is that, or not? Is it Chris? No, Andrew. Sorry, Andrew Cuomo stepped out. Is that how he did it? Let me look that up.
We get that briefing right here that you're looking at on your screen. Any way to go to just quickly round robin through our other cameras if Miriam and Ben's crew. So this is the police department here. I'm sorry. This is the police officers outside Freighter Hospital. Looks to be a number of them going inside. Interesting to see everybody now going inside the hospital.
Clearing that area.
Yeah, if they're able to gather everybody up. I mean, it was quite the clog of law
all night. That I can't. I'm going to sleep all day tomorrow. I can't do that.
And again,
I got to be up early.
Those were involved in escorting.
I couldn't sleep though. I went to sleep earlier, like at 9 something. I was trying to, I thought I was going to sleep good, and then I just woke up and had all this energy. But I got to be up early tomorrow. I mean, we'll do the press conference. I got to be up early tomorrow, and then who knows, Friday. Felony Fridays. Who knows what could happen? Man, what's this guy's name? Here we go. Zoran Mamdani.
Whatever the case, they are looking at every area of the neighborhoods, searching for that known suspect.
Yes, leading opponent. Andrew Cuomo conceded.
Not sure if this is our briefing team right here, or if they're going to give us some kind. Let's just listen in to see if they have anything to say when they.
We'll see how New York does it. Maybe they'll do it right. Oh, yeah, of course.
I believe that's Jeff Fleming, spokesperson for the mayor. Yeah, that is Jeff Fleming. He's directing traffic here. So let's see what he's telling us to do.
Where are we going? We're going down 26. 26 to north. Yep.
Sergeant Cornejo. All right, we're moving in a little bit closer here where the briefing will take place.
Sounds like they said 26th.
So another block.
Block down.
Okay, so that's going to be a block away and about 10 minutes away from that location right there. Again, that was Jeff Fleming, spokesperson for the mayor, and Sergeant Cornejo with Milwaukee Police Department, who handles their media affairs office, setting everything up for this news briefing that's just about 10 minutes away right now, and can't wait to hear what they're going to say. Hopefully they will have good news about the condition of both of the officers who are right now at Fredert Hospital.
And it looks like Ben Jordan right there at Fredert, and maybe he can give us an idea of where those officers who were all gathered outside of the hospital, where they have gone and why. Can we get to Ben and get an update on what's happening there?
Yeah, Andrea and Steve, all I can tell you is what I'm seeing here from, about a football field away, but all of the officers who are standing right outside of this entrance just walk toward the entrance. It may indicate that they walked inside the hospital. I'm not sure, but they are no longer standing where they were for the past hour and a half. So they may be inside at this point, Andreas and Steve.
All right, Ben, thanks.
And somebody was asking earlier from a different country, while those cops out there. Yeah, like somebody was saying, I guess tradition and support, and I would just think that, like, just to show support, solidarity, somebody that might have died or could have died, it's like a brotherhood. And so for you to survive and come back and to wake up and maybe see all the officers there supporting you, it might give you I think somebody said to morale, it might increase the morale, it might give you the strength to fight more, or just, it's just a thing of support to see all the people that are with you every day, risking their lives, standing with you together, and your moment of looking death right in the face,
By,
I think, I think maybe that's part of what it's about.
Within the police department, we've had sources tell us what they believe is going on, but this is the moment we've been waiting for to find out how those officers are doing, maybe in fact even who those officers are. And we may find out more about the suspect as well.
Yeah, I thought we were going to hear from Jeff Fleming real quick there, but no, we did not hear from him at the moment. But it looks like everybody is coming together.
It's been a long night.
Amazing that he survived, that his pulse came back. Hopefully they make it out okay and everything's fine.
And again, we've already heard from the president of the Milwaukee Police Association, Alex Ayala, who just expressed his great frustration, not only with what happened tonight, but what writ large has been happening in the city of Milwaukee lately. Encouragingly enough, major crime numbers are trending in the right direction. We're not where we were 5 years ago with homicides and shootings in the city of Milwaukee.
So it says it's better?
But we are seeing increased brazenness. With, I believe it was either 4 officers in the last 5 months or 5 officers in the last 4 months.
He said 4 officers shot in the last
4 officers shot in the last 5 months.
Yeah.
And that is really tough stuff for people who have really difficult jobs to begin with.
And Steve, think about it. Traditionally, when the weather gets warmer is when we start to see more gun violence, and summer is just really getting underway. We've got some months to go of the warm weather.
Oh yeah.
And
summer's out, the kids are out, the freaks are out.
Getting worse.
Yeah, and we will hopefully learn some details about what the original call was here that officers responded to. Was it a domestic situation? Was it a shooting? That they were the call for service we see shows it as a shooting, not as a welfare check or domestic violence, battery, anything like that. It comes in as a shooting. Unknown if the shooting was the shooting at the officers or there was another shooting that could have been a domestic violence shooting. hopefully we can get some light shed on all that. We do have a lot of questions about what may have happened there that brought officers to the scene in the first place.
But what we do know that has been established is that these officers were, the word that's been used is ambushed. They did not have a chance upon arrival. No one said anything. No one was able to do anything before these officers were critically injured.
Again, we are standing by waiting for a briefing. This looks to be the group gathering right there, getting their ducks in a row before they walk over to the microphones. Spokesperson for the mayor is there. The spokesperson for the police chief is there. Again, we don't expect to see the police chief here as he's traveling on business today. He's in Texas for a chiefs conference.
And I'm pretty sure that the things that we've discussed, just the hazards to the job, the gun violence that's ongoing across the country, I'm sure these are all things that are being discussed where the chief is there in Texas. And the interesting thing is that he just was reinstated, so he has quite a job on his hands when we look at trying to control the gun violence in this city.
Yeah, he's at the Major Cities Chiefs Association conference in Texas. He's the vice president of the Major Cities Chiefs, and these are issues that the big cities in the United States deal with, of violence, specifically gun violence like this.
Day in and day out.
And this is the group now walking towards the cameras. We see Mayor Johnson with his spokesperson right there, kind of ahead of the pack, walking their way to the cameras.
And you know, just from delivering the news on a daily, Mayor Cavalier Johnson has been very upset and irritated and frustrated by the gun violence in the city as well. So it will be interesting to hear what he has to say under these unfortunate circumstances that we continue to see these things unfold in our city. And Milwaukee's a great city, and it's just unfortunate that there are those few who have access to guns and really no care in who they harm as they move about the city.
We've seen Mayor Johnson upset about shootings. We've seen him grow upset around reckless driving in the city of Milwaukee. We know on reckless driving, he's thrown a lot of resources at that problem and really been able to move the needle on it. It is the problem of people with guns and bad attitudes and poor decision making.
Quite frankly, not a care in the world.
Yeah, that is the thing that has been really difficult to change. So many people running around with firearms and no second thoughts about using them. That has been a really hard thing to change in the city of Milwaukee.
And as they slowly make their way to the podium, that just really, it just kind of rung a bell in my head when you said that, because you can throw money at resources, but it's very hard to throw money at changing mentalities.
All right, let's listen in as they're coming to the microphones here near 26th and North is where we are set up, just a couple blocks away from the scene where 2 Milwaukee police officers were shot just now about 4 hours ago. Let's listen in.
There you go.
I'm Assistant Chief Nicole, NICOLE Waldner, WALDNER of the Criminal Investigation Bureau. Last night, Thursday, June 26th, at approximately 9:10 p.m., officers were sent to a subject with weapon call. While en route, it was upgraded to a shots fired. While the officers were approaching, they were unexpectedly fired upon in the alley of the 2200 block of North 24th Place. The officers were both struck and not able to return fire. Both officers have just over 6 years on the job. Our first officer is a 29-year-old, and he is currently at the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The second officer, a 32-year-old, is at the hospital, and he remains in critical condition. We are seeking a known suspect. It's active and ongoing.
Known suspect.
and the Milwaukee Police Homicide Division will be investigating this shooting. I want to thank the fire department, Frederick Hospital, the sheriff's office for helping us out here and always being a partner to us, and all other law enforcement agencies that showed up to help with this very expansive scene and this horrible thing that is once again happened to our city and our police department. We're asking for prayers for both officers and their families, their classmates, and every officer on this street. I want to thank all the officers that came in on their off days. They came in out of shift. They came in on vacation just to take all the other assignments to keep Milwaukee safe so that we could be here to investigate this crime, and while the 2 officers are in the hospital recovering. Yeah.
Thank you, AC Waldner. She just mentioned, AC Waldner did, that we should be praying for our police officers, and that's exactly what I've been doing when I found out that the situation here happened. And it's a sad day. It's a very sad day, because no officer, no person in law enforcement should ever be fired upon. Never. It is never okay. It is never appropriate. It is never the right thing to do to fire on our police officers. I think a lot of people forget, or they take for granted perhaps, that when incidences arise in our community where you need somebody to go in to protect the health and well-being of a neighborhood, to protect the well-being of citizens, that it's the police, it's the brave men and women of this department that walk into those situations. That's exactly what happened here. Exactly what happened here. I commend those citizens. I commend those citizens who said to the police officers that there was a problem in their neighborhood. And I commend those officers who I have been praying for stepping in, doing the right thing, working to protect this city and its citizens. It's a sad day when officers are fired upon. Question that I am continually asking myself when instances like this arrive: what are we doing? What are we doing to make sure that our officers are safe? Is everybody here doing all that we can to make sure that our officers are safe? Not just folks in government, folks in the community. You got parents out here who are watching over their kids, who want to make sure that their young people are doing the right thing. I commend those parents. I want other folks to step up too. I want everybody to step up to make sure the people they care about, people that are in their family, are doing the right thing. That they're not sending folks out on the street who are doing dirt, who are going to hurt people, who are going to put themselves in a situation where the police have to respond and then end up fired upon. It's not right. I also want to continue to ask folks, especially in other levels of government that control gun law, to make sure that all of us are doing what we can to make sure that the police can do their job and do it as safely as possible. I'm not seeing enough of that. I'm not seeing enough of that. I want our police officers to be safe. I want our community to be safe. I want our city to be safe. And I want everybody to do their part to make sure that that's the case. And for the person that shot at our officers, for the person or people who shot at the Milwaukee police officers that were injured, I want you to know you should turn yourself in. And if there's anybody out there who knows who shot at our officers, you should step up. You should call that in. And you can do it anonymously too. There's no excuse to sit on this information. Absolutely none. Absolutely none. Not when those officers step up to protect the city each and every single day. Turn them in. Turn them in. This is not right. It is absolutely not right. For the person that shot our officers, if you don't turn yourself in, for the people that know who shot our officers and refuse to turn them in, know that the men and women of this department, on this police force, they're going to find you, they're going to arrest you, and you're going to be brought to justice anyway. And I fully expect and support that when that person is caught, they will be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. The fullest extent of the law. That's what is deserved in this situation. That's what's deserved here today. Speaking of that, we're joined as well by the District Attorney of Milwaukee County, Kent Lovern. I'm going to have him to come to the mic now. Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you, Mayor. Well, everyone in our community deserves to live in safety each and every day, and that obviously includes the men and women who we entrust as police officers to help keep our neighborhoods safe. Everyone deserves to live in safety in our neighborhoods every day. And there is no excuse for the gun violence we see and have seen.
You know they're watching. Those guys got to be watching. The shooter got to be watching.
And the only appropriate response to that is to remove anyone who wishes to engage in that type of violence from our community. Plain and simple. That is the only appropriate response to that type of behavior. Obviously, our thoughts and prayers are with the two officers injured tonight. And we know there's a very thorough investigation underway as we speak. And I can assure you that the person who is responsible for
thank you so much
will be held accountable.
Ginger, thank you so much for the PayPal for the 25.
Hi, my name's Alex Ayala, and I'm the president of the Milwaukee Police Association. I first want to thank all the paramedics, the doctors, the nurses that treated the police officers at Freighter tonight, and all the jurisdictions that are here helping the Sheriff's Department. I saw them out there. I really want to thank them for what they're doing. But enough is enough. Stop trying to kill my police officers. The violence against our police officers is out of hand. It's 4 officers in 5 months. It's ridiculous. And for that coward that ambushed my police officers, if you don't turn yourself in, we're going to hunt you down. We're coming to get you, and justice is coming for you.
Damn, he's pissed. Yeah, he's pissed. If I would have said, we're going to kill you. That's what I would say. That's why I can't do that kind of job. We're going to F you up.
Multiple suspects?
At this point, we are still waiting to get into the scene and still investigate further. But at this point, we have 1 suspect that we're looking for, but that may change. It's fluid.
We saw 1 person detained. Was that part of it that you were looking for?
I can't say that. I don't know who you saw detained. Sorry.
But the person that you are looking for, you know who it is you're looking for.
We are looking for them, yes.
Are you able to share the extent of the injuries where those officers were shot?
No.
At this time, no.
Were the officers fired out by an automatic weapon, or can you describe the weapon at all?
We haven't recovered the weapon. It's I haven't set eyes on it, so I don't know.
Indicating that a switch may have been used?
I don't have any indication of that right now, no.
As far as the conversation about officer safety, we heard a couple of weeks ago with Alex, concerns about staffing levels. Either the mayor, assistant chief, if you could just address the idea of, are there still concerns right now that too many officers are being asked to cover too few officers are having to cover too much space on a given shift?
I don't think that would have prevented anything today, because what the problem is today, and every time actually that we have all of you in front of us, the problem is too many people have guns. So I could put an officer on every single corner. That will not eliminate the amount of guns in the hands of people that shouldn't have them, right? All over the city. And unfortunately, it won't also help the fact that there is complete, utter disregard for anybody else other than themselves. Like, there's not even a second thought to fire on officers as they approach the alley doing their job. There's not when we were on 46th and Hampton, not a second thought to turn around with their ghost gun. So no matter where the officers are or how many there are just as many guns. And we have to focus that is the problem. And I need people to tell us. I need people to say they are tired of being afraid. They are tired of living in Milwaukee when we always have to worry about everyone carrying a gun out in the open. just anywhere you go to the corner store, there are guns. You go to the barbershop, there are guns. I need people to call us and tell us so we can put a stop to it. That's the only thing. We can have more officers, and I know that the mayor is trying, and we are recruiting heavily. And look at how many officers are here. Everyone came in, right? But I guarantee you that within a block, there are more guns than there are officers on this scene.
Were those officers approaching by foot or by vehicle?
No, by foot.
And the suspect, is this suspect that you were aware of, or is the department aware of this person? Have they had interactions with this person in the past? Did he have paper on him? Did he have warrants?
I don't know any of that.
I'm sorry, the suspect. I didn't
Yeah.
say he was.
I don't know. I don't want to release anything about the suspect just yet,
Are you able to share what district those officers were a part of?
Today, they were part of District 2.
Do they work for District 2?
Yes.
AC Waldner, can you explain just why you're not sharing information about the suspect? We're looking for somebody who's dangerous, possibly armed.
Yes, and because when we get him properly identified and I can put his name out there, then we will absolutely release it to the media.
Yeah,
but at this point,
guys.
it's premature.
Thank
okay?
I just want to make sure you guys...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I can do it. I just want to make sure that you guys know, obviously, if anyone has any information regarding this investigation or the whereabouts of our suspect, that they should call 911, and or to be anonymous, they should call Crime Stoppers at 224-TIPS. Thank you.
Considered a danger to the community right now?
Unknown.
All right, so the two officers are fighting for their lives. The 29-year-old, non-life-threatening injuries, which is good. The 32-year-old, critical condition. This is the officer that we were told earlier in this process tonight had lost his life. They were able to regain a pulse. He's still in critical condition. He's 32 years old, and he's fighting for his life right now at Frederick Hospital, where a lot of officers are still standing vigil. The neighborhood here near 27th and North, where this briefing was given, still swarmed with police officers. As we heard Nicole Waldner, the assistant chief, say, they know who they're looking for. And as we heard the chief, and as we heard Alex Ayala say, we're going to find you.
They said, we will hunt you down. Now, it's my understanding that these two officers that have been described, one with non-life-threatening injuries, the other in critical condition, both are from District 2. And also, there's the 32-year-old known suspect. And so the message to that suspect, very clear, and that also came from the mayor. So it's no surprise to us what we heard today on the frustration, the anger, and the sadness that we continue to see this happen.
Okay, we are going to send you back to regular programming as it's now 1:34.
It's 1 in the morning, pimpin'.
Much more to come on this on TM.
Woo! All right, guys. All right. Thank you so much for tonight. Oh, DJ, thank you so much for the super chat, DJ Soltrix. Yeah, it's late. It's late. I want to work on a few things with the website. I messed something up. Yeah, so I gotta fix something on the website. But all right, guys. Yeah, have a good night. Thank you so much. Thankfully, the officer survived, and we'll see what tomorrow brings, or today, actually, I should say today. Felony Friday. The craziness, man. Already. All right, guys. Peace. I'll catch you later. Love you. Thank you so much. See you guys tomorrow. Or later. Later. I keep saying tomorrow. Later. Bye. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop, bloop. Good night and sweet dreams to you and me. Good night, sweet dreams to you and me. There we go. Back to normal. This video is going viral. I might have to do a video on the Clips channel. This guy's saying there's only 4 days left. To what? To the end of the world, Chico. Revenga!
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Hey, what's up, man? So, the guy on TikTok, and the end of the world is coming.
Just 4 days. Left 4 days. And who
They need to look into his ass. What you planning on doing in 4 days?
I am? That's not your business. You only need to keep in your mind what's gonna happen in 4 days.
Shit, they need to look into his ass. What's he talking about?
People, 5 days. That's it. That's all. I don't need any more. I'm leaving. Okay?
Okay, man.
Just wait. Let's start the countdown. 5 days.
Oh no, God knows what he's talking about. 5 days until my first date. Poor Amanda Bynes, man. I don't know what is up with this chick. She says she's gonna take Ozempic. She needs something else. I don't know Ozempic.
It's like 1:30. Oh, I'm going on Ozempic. So excited. I'm 173 now.
It's crazy to see how this girl changed throughout her life.
So
I guess the abuse or drugs or whatever in that entertainment lifestyle as a child.
I hope to get down to like 130, which would be awesome. So I look better in paparazzi pictures and you don't see my double chin from strange angles. Oh, I'm going on Ozempic.
I don't know what she has on her hair. Is that paint? Hair dye? Or is she just painting on herself? Painting on the walls and decided to paint her hair. God almighty, man. All right, let me see anything else. Anything else? This is the person I was telling to kill ICE agents. This is what this person
You can
said.
just kill ICE agents. You know that?
Yeah.
You can just kill them. You don't have to hold your phone in their face and ask people when their birthday is and ask people what their name is and then try to find wherever they end up in Los Angeles. You can kill them. This isn't about social media clout anymore. This isn't about video. This isn't about the phone. This is about get a gun and start killing ICE agents. They are deputized corrections officers. Kill them. You can
Kill ICE agents. Wow. Well, there was this crazy lady on TikTok. I think she must have got off by now. Let me take a look and see. She was tripping, yo. I was like, what is going on with this lady? She's had to get out. There's no way she's still rambling. Let me see real quick. Oh, she got off. I was gonna say that chick was something else. I thought she was on something. Damn. Chick was tripping. All right, guys. Yeah, have a good night. Love you. Bye. Adios. Bloop, bloop, bloop.